All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you fucking laughing at we partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, swinging, all that shit, dog. We sweating, getting wet, all that.
All right, welcome to the 202nd episode of the Drinking Partners Podcast. Yes, this is our Kawhi Leonard episode because he's a two-way star, man. He's like one of the best in the league, but he's low-key, you know what I'm saying? But he makes sure he gets it done. I feel like I'm low-key. Day is not as low-key. Day is like Kawhi Leonard's laugh that went viral on the internet. I'm Kawhi Leonard's personality. Day is Kawhi Leonard's laugh, but formidable in all fashions in the sport, and I feel like we are formidable in the entertainment and podcasting world. So shout out to Kawhi. Don't go to LA because I'm a LeBron James fan, but to see him win another chip outside of Cleveland will hurt, especially now that we got OBJ in the building. They mad. He mad though. Don't be mad, brother. Don't be mad. We lit in Cleveland, y'all. We lit. This is about to be our second championship in my lifetime. So this is episode 202, second championship in Cleveland. And I'm like,
ain't nobody gonna be throwing to that motherfucker. Y'all ain't gonna keep that motherfucking quarterback for longer than 2 weeks. We know this.
Hey, man, I ain't even introduced you yet. I'm half of your host in tandem, Ed Bailey. I'm joined as always with this motherfucker over here. Say what up to the people.
Yo, this is this motherfucker over here. We are the Drinking Partners Podcast. If you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play, and Spotify. Under Drinking Partners. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod. 200.
Dos hundo.
Damn, man.
Dos hundo dos.
Doso dos. We out here, man. We've been asking y'all, and we will continue.
Dos.
We've been asking y'all, man, for 202 episodes, and we will continue to ask you, man. Please hop on iTunes, hop on Facebook, rate and review. That's how we know we're doing well. That's how we let others know that we're doing well, and that's how we continue to do well, man. So please hop on iTunes, rate and review. And like, listen, man, we've been asking you motherfuckers for 202 episodes to rate and review, and we only got like 90 motherfucking reviews. Which, listen, I mean that's a healthy, you know. I mean, if somebody's just kind of casually scrolling through and they see 90 reviews and they all big 5 stars and whatever, I ain't mad at that. But listen, man, we ain't the same people we was a year ago. You know what I mean, we always evolving, we always doing new shit. You know what I mean, so we need that feedback from you. We need to go through and say, yo, you know, what we doing well? What do you miss? You know what I mean, what can we do a little bit more of, a little bit less of? You know what I mean, we need that feedback, you know.
Yeah, so let us know what you like, man. Interact with us.
True. I mean,
add us on Twitter.
Yeah, we accessible. You know what I mean, how you hop on the Twitters, hop on the Instagrams, or whatever. You know what I mean, leave a little comment or whatever. You know, just let us know. You know what I mean, that's how we that's how we know what we're doing well. So please hop on iTunes, rate and review.
Look, man, you love us. You see us in public. You tell us you love us. Now, at the click of a button, please tell the internet, tell the world, tell everybody. Go on and tell everybody. Yeah, this is going to be a singing cast by me. All right, because I got to counter, because Dave's mad because y'all don't be rating and reviewing, man. Yeah, and I think, and his theory is that because we asking for the shots of Henny, which I'm going to say now, in lieu of rates and reviews, we do always accept shots of Henny. Shout out to Car Guy DJ and the Conways for starting the trend. Shout out to everybody for keeping it going. We accept and appreciate that shot of Henny, but, you know, it would kind of be more financially savvy if you just went on the internet, clicked, and typed some shit.
A little cheaper.
It's a little cheaper for you, man.
A little more broad appealing, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and then like, man, you don't know if you're going to see me. I don't know if I'm going to see you again.
And we think that's what y'all banking on.
Yeah, you know, like you go see me in Giant Eagle and be like, oh, bro, I got a little, you know, hen bottle in the car. Let me go run and grab that for you.
And
like
that disappear? Leave the bread over with the candy. You ever forget some shit? You got to run to your car. You got to sit it on something that it don't matter. You can sit the bread on top of the candy in the aisle and shit.
Yeah, you got to tuck it away a little bit. You know what I mean? So fucking the lady behind you don't like steal out of your basket.
I do be hiding food. I do be hiding food in the grocery store. If I forget my wallet, I'll tuck it behind some crackers and shit, go get it. You know what I mean? So
it is a weird phenomenon, like, you know what I mean, being in the grocery store and like feeling like you own what's in that cart. Like, yeah, I mean, that's my shit. Like, don't come over here. Like, I went all the way over here for this bread. Don't be in this aisle looking, you know what I mean, remember that you needed bread. See my bread in this motherfucker and then take it. Now I got to go all the way to the other side.
Stop looking in my cart.
There it is.
Stop eyeing up my cart. I should tint my cart. I wish they could tint your cart, man. My cart all fishbowl. You walking through, looking all in my cart, trying to see what type of snacks we on, man. Maybe this ain't a pay week. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we going light. Yeah, maybe it's full of ramen. Leave me alone. You don't know me. You don't know my life because you not leaving rates and reviews.
Yeah,
help us out.
Yeah, motherfuckers. So please,
I'm sorry.
Rate review. You ain't gonna see us in the Giant Eagles, and if you do, keep your eyes on your own shit.
I'll be a Giant Eagle.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I be doing my dry cleaning in Giant Eagle because it's just so accessible, man.
I can't afford Giant Eagle, man. A Giant Eagle's like fancy. Like if I'm like, I'm about to show out. Like I got some guests coming through, and I need like some.
You need the name brand.
Yeah, I need the name brand shit. Then I might go down there. In Giant Eagle and get some the fancier shit. But other than that, man, I'm an oldie type motherfucker.
I'm getting dry cleaning.
Yeah,
and then I don't know how I should feel about myself doing dry cleaning in Giant Eagle. It just don't seem right.
It's a one-stop shop. I mean, but
it's right there.
Do they even have dry cleaners anymore? Like there's
they got them
standalone
everywhere.
dry cleaners?
Yeah, and the standalones be giving you your shit tomorrow. Like the next day, they don't be clean. I still don't know what dry cleaning is.
I still don't understand the phenomenon. My girl was telling me about like she has like a bag that you spray some shit on and you throw it in the dryer and it dry cleans. I'm like, is that what they be doing? She's like, listen, I don't know, but that's what the bag said. I'm like, so I mean, I think like, does anybody know how dry cleaning work?
I don't know how that shit works, man. But look, you see us out, you love us, rate and review us. And if you need to see us out, you can catch us March 30th down at Contra Theater. We have
Alex
DePula.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Actually, this is Alex's first time at Contra, which is crazy, man. I can't believe we haven't had him out here. So that's going to be dope as hell. And then we got Union Brothers coming through porn. They ain't even open yet.
Exclusive.
They ain't even open yet. So you can't even they can't sell this shit. So like you got to get it wherever they.
But we can give it away.
Yeah, we can give it away.
That's completely legal. Don't send the feds up to us.
Copious amounts, man. And these motherfuckers, they came out last month with
they got something to prove.
So, yeah, there were a whole selection. They had a little chalkboard and shit with this handmade box and whatnot. They had sours and IPAs and milk stouts. Like it was crazy, man. Like they're brewing at an extremely high level right now, and they ain't even opened up yet. They will be opening up at some point up in Harmony, which is like around the Zelienople. If you're not, Butler County area or whatever.
Kind of where we started. We're doing the shows and shit up in Harmony Ridge.
Yeah, so it's so we they'll be out there March 30th, and like I said, Alex DePula will be down there, and then Arcade Comedy Theater every third Saturday, 420. 420. We got Sarome Russell coming through from the DMV coming up to headline.
And it's legal out there.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he came up here on 420, but we're happy to have him.
He missed like the thrill of it being a taboo. You know what I mean?
Oh, he want to smoke illegally?
Yeah, he want to hide it. He want to have to hide it.
You know tend his cart.
And we got Mindful coming back. And to kick off their run, this year we got every 3 months we switching it up. You know what I mean? So for the next 3 months, Mindful Brewing will be pouring at all of our shows sponsoring that. So come through arcadecomedytheater.com April 20th and ComtraTheater.ticketleap.com for March 30th. And then last but not least, Fresh Fest.
Hold on, you ain't let me get my throat together.
Fresh Fest is coming through August 10th, man, down at Nova Place. It's gonna be the biggest event in Pittsburgh this year. We calling it 3,000 people. We taking over the whole fucking mall, man. We got like 70 brewers on tap coming through. We got about 30 black brewers from around the country. We got 40 collaborations coming through. Nappy Roots is headlining.
Them country boys.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Pairing them up
I'm
with
singing all episodes.
Pairing them up with Dancing Gnome for a collaboration.
With them big fat wheels.
You heard it here first. You know what I mean? First collaboration announcement for that festival. So we're super excited to have them. You got Garrett Oliver from Brooklyn Brewing that's going to be down there for the VIP. Still got tickets available for that VIP. And just tons of music, DJs, live art. Food, the people, network, the whole thing, man. It's Fresh Fest, man. If you don't know about it, then check us out. Shit, if you're listening to this and you don't know about it, what the fuck is
that? Is Hurry Up, Say Something Funny, March 28th. Out at Apis Meadery. Buzzy jumping in with the reminders. Buzzy done bought Post-it notes. We are interns, Post-it notes.
It is getting high level.
That's what happens. That's how you get Nappy Roots with them country boys. And them big fat wheels.
So Fresh Fest, August 10th, Nova Place, freshfestbeerfest.com. And then, March 28th?
Yeah,
March 28th. Hurry up and say something funny, man. If y'all know, you know what I mean? If y'all know about that shit, that's where we just cap on the crowd for about like 90 minutes, just like talking shit on folks. You know, Epicast, putting that together down there at Apis Meadery. Free show. Just come through. We get pretty shit-faced. We got Conkle's on that.
Your boy's back.
Yeah, there's a few folks. I get a little...
Ian's on everyone.
Ray's one, man.
Ray Z.
That's a heavy hitting ass show.
Well, your boy's on too. You go ahead. You can say I'm on. Go ahead. Tell him I'm on there.
And it's gonna be in the building.
Tell him I'm on there.
Like crushing it.
Tell him what I threw out
there. Mike Travers. Damn. Osha Dwyer. Jack. Oh, we got Jack Knife on the mother. Yo, man, this is the first one of the year, and
I can't wait to see Travers on there.
Travers. The last time he was on there, he smashed like with a guitar in his hand. Like that was he did a veteran ass move. Like, the last time he was there, he showed up, and that was like, honestly, that was my first time seeing Travers doing a set like live, and he crushed it. And I've been a fan ever since. We've worked together closely over the last couple of years since then. So if you're looking for that, man, it's free down at Apis Meadery, March 28th.
All right, so look, we talked about a lot of events, right? And every time you have an event, you need to capture it. You need someone to capture these moments, someone to document, physically, like, hey, this shit happened, this should look dope. And that takes us to our guest. He's like the Kawhi Leonard of Pittsburgh Photography, is that right? Like, just, formidable in all facets. He probably shot your auntie's wedding. That's his tagline, not mine. Got Dave Dicello in the building. Say what up to the people.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me. It's nice to be here, yeah.
Yeah, consummate professional. I feel like photographers got to be mad professional because you bringing somebody in to
you get like they creeping around you and shit. Like they're like ninjas, so like you got to trust them when you don't even know that they're close.
You do got a creepy element too.
It is, especially shooting weddings. It's just weird. You're just like in the shadows, jumping out behind the bride's table or whatever.
Yeah. You do a lot of like what do you call that kind of like scene photography? Like where
like cityscapes, landscapes.
Cityscape. Like it'd be wild as shit. Like it looks trippy. Like it's wild because like you be with drones and shit, and then like in fog, and then like underneath like bridges or like on top. It's the angles that you get are wild as hell. And then like I guess the post production, like editing or whatever, like it just pops. Like the shit is just like I said. It seems like a great like you can go through your portfolio on shrooms and have a great fucking time.
So it's no drones anymore though. I just want to put that out there because I got I got a phone call from the FAA a few years ago, and you don't want to be on any kind of government list, So,
because you was
so if anyone from the FAA is listening, I do not have a drone anymore.
All right.
No, I'm kidding.
You got a call from some motherfuckers in suits showed up.
I did. I thought it was like a buddy like pranking me, and then I like looked up the name, and it was said, "Oh, this person's like ran these drone education programs." I'm like, "Oh shit, that's yeah." So helicopter, I fly in a no, I don't own a helicopter because if I owned a helicopter, I like you guys, but I wouldn't be here probably talking if I owned a helicopter.
We don't know too many people that own a helicopter.
I'd be in Maui or somewhere. But yeah, so yeah, I fly in a helicopter, and that's really the best way to capture the city.
I've never flown in a helicopter, man. That
awesome.
Sounds like dope as shit. You ever been in a helicopter?
Hell no.
It's awesome.
I'm not going that high in something that ain't. That's too small, man. I need something. They take out the window of the helicopter.
No, they take the door off. They take the door off.
Like the 18.
Nah, man, I played Metal Gear.
Yeah, like MASH and shit.
I'm cool. I don't want to take pictures that bad.
It's something else. Whenever the first time that I ever did it was a couple of years ago, but when that helicopter lifts off the ground and it's just like you're just floating, it's crazy.
I don't know what that feel like. That feeling got to be crazy because every other like everything that I've flown is a jet, like or a plane or whatever. So it's constantly like moving forward in that. But like to like just like lift up vertically and then have that ability to just be like hovering and like move like in like a 360. That's insane.
Is the takeoff smooth? Like, is it a little bit of?
That depends on the wind, but there was Well, the landing for me was worse. In fact, the first time I ever took a helicopter flight, I had to give a presentation to a photography club like an hour later. So I landed, had to drive from Zilly down to Peters Township, and I actually had to pull over. I thought I was going to throw up because it just threw me so much. Now I'm used to it now, but that was the first time was rough. But yeah, I mean it's awesome. Like I said, they take the door off, so I actually sit sideways, like I'm like facing out the door.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Are you like strapped in? You got like extra
No, they just let me just hang out in there.
Yeah,
it's like a 5 point. I mean, it's you're not going. It's enough room for me to turn to the side. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
This is secure. You're not just out there like hanging out like
holding with one hand,
just
with the other, like he's shooting out the window. Doing drive-bys on the cityscape.
Gotcha.
So how did I guess how did you know that you had the eye like for photography? When did it click? Like, yo, I got something here.
I don't know. Like I was into photography whenever I was a kid. My dad was really into it, so we'd go to. He went to Penn State, so I go to Penn State games whenever I was a kid, and he'd let me take his old film camera, and I'd take pictures there. And then I got to college, and it was like I was too cool for photography. It's like, I've got to drink beer or take pictures. I'm going to drink the beer instead of take pictures.
You take pictures of the beer?
Well, I could have, which I do now, but yeah. So I graduated, and it was like, Pittsburgh is an awesome city to be able to take pictures of. So I gave it a shot, and what really set me off. Do you guys remember that duck? That
big ass,
rubber
ducky.
Yeah, that was the. If you look at my Facebook trends, it's kind of a flat line until that duck, and then it just kind of starts going up. Before I was getting maybe 100 likes on a picture, and I went down and shot that duck, and I went to bed. I shot a wedding the next day. I woke up, just checked Facebook before I went to the wedding. I had 2,000 likes on the picture of the duck, and I was like, oh, and that was like the defining moment in terms of not whenever I fell into love with photography, but whenever the social media started taking off. But
that's crazy. I mean, shit, 100 is a bad. Like if I get 13 likes on a motherfucking photo, I'm like, yeah.
100 likes used to be a hashtag.
Yeah, like 100. I'm like,
motherfuckers used to post their photos, and then once they get to 100 likes, they put a comment, 100 likes. Like we don't see the number of likes. I'd be mad as hell when I got Dave Bracey and so and 97 others. I'll be like, come on, man, just give me the 100.
Just round up.
Just say the 100, man. You ain't got to say who liked it.
I got to call a couple motherfuckers. Can you? But what do you think it is about? What do you particularly enjoy about Pittsburgh that makes it worth shooting? I mean, because I don't know, man. I've seen pictures of Buffalo, and I haven't found a photographer that made it look like anything I wanted to.
Why you got to shit on them?
Man,
they not even on Buffalo? This cast, bro.
Have you seen Buffalo?
I had to drive to Buffalo for training.
Yeah, it's like a.
I went to the hood spot for chicken.
It's like an abandoned parking lot. It's like
it was yeah.
It's there it's not the most.
It was definitely a strip mall.
I think you got to have a weird eye, one of the, I don't know,
Buffalo looked like Century 3. They're not even here to defend themselves. They're just giving Buffalo bars for no reason.
I've never heard anybody from Buffalo defend themselves, though.
I know somebody at work. She loved Buffalo. She got a Buffalo Bills background on her computer. I'm like, take that shit off.
She like the Bills. She don't like Buffalo. She ain't never been like, oh, man, we got beautiful Bills. They don't know any defend
See a motherfucker
Buffalo.
With a Buffalo Sabres debit card. I said, ain't no money on that.
So Century 3, dude.
I'm sorry. We go ahead, answer the question. Yeah, but Pittsburgh though. I mean, no, but seriously, what do you say? Because for me as a non-photographer, the terrain is it's an inconvenience. Just the way Pittsburgh is structured, whatever.
Oh,
but now
man.
when you bring it out in your photographs, it looks immaculate. It's damn, I want to drive there, but you don't want.
You don't want to drive.
No, you don't want to drive anywhere in Pittsburgh ever. That's why I take the helicopter.
I get a helicopter to work. That'd be dope.
Yeah. I've been telling motherfuckers I need a helicopter to just fucking this shit, man. Because Pittsburgh is growing and everything. It's all bridges and tunnels, so you're always gonna go down to 2 lanes. So it's terrible. But you make it look like, oh my god, I want to be here.
Well, the thing about Pittsburgh is that if you've lived here for a day, you've lived here for 5 years or all your life, it's like you're always from Pittsburgh, no matter how long you lived here. So I think that has really helped connect like my work with other people and like how, and like that's one thing that keeps me shooting because it's so fun to see, post a picture and be like, I moved away 10 years ago and, but your pictures keep me in touch with the city. And like, that's really cool to me, that someone's, has memories of Pittsburgh and they're using my images to kind of help connect them. And I love the terrain of Pittsburgh because it, you look at places like Cincinnati or Columbus or Cleveland, and I'm not bashing on any of those places.
Boy,
I'm sorry.
you had me at the first time. I'm like, slow your roll.
National Cleveland.
Slow your roll. What you mean? We got OBJ, baby. What you talking about, man?
Y'all go have fucking what the fuck, whatever, man. Y'all ain't got nobody throwing to that motherfucker.
But a lot of those places, they have. Or even, I was just down in Houston, last month. It's like, all those places have one place to shoot the city from. You're going to go from the north or south or the east or west. But Pittsburgh, you can go to the, you can go to the West End, you can go to the North Shore, you go to Mount Washington, you go up to Oakland and shoot it back. There's so many different vantage points because it sits down in a valley like that. That's really unique to be able to capture.
Those three rivers and whatnot.
Or from a helicopter. It's really,
you're just gonna keep soft flex. That perpetual soft flex. For those who haven't been on a helicopter, what it has propellers and it takes you up. And you just float. Take photographs. If you're good like me, if you really are good at what you do, you can get a helicopter.
Oh man, what'd be dope is they had a helicopter and then throw a drone out there. Like, you'd be floating.
It'd just be flying next to the drone. So the drone is now taking photographs of you
in the helicopter.
That's what I should do.
Don't steal our idea. Nope, that's us.
Copyright.
Trademark.
Right now.
Drone selfie.
Hanging
I'm doing
shit.
drones. Elevated drone selfie. Hashtag that. That'd be dope as shit.
Yeah.
So how do you
likes?
All right, so I have no eye for photography, like none. Like when I take photos with my cell phone, you know somebody who takes really good pictures. Well, obviously, but like somebody who takes really good selfies and just what I mean. Like how do you know like where to shoot? Like how do you know? Okay, that's photograph worthy, or that's gonna turn out great, or is
I'm
it just
set up here,
or is it just a shot in the dark and you see certain elements, but you're like, I don't know how it's gonna turn out.
I can't answer that question because you can't really teach that, right? It's like I could teach you how to edit a picture. I could teach you how to shoot a panorama. I can, teach you how to shoot a long exposure, but it's so hard to tell someone, okay, this is how you have to compose this picture because, and I'm not saying I'm not the best at it, and sometimes it's, I'll go home, I'll shoot for 2 hours and come home and be like, shit, I don't like anything that I got today and I got to go back out tomorrow, so, but what I found is how every time I go to take a picture, before I press the shutter, I always walk like 100 feet in both directions because it's like, oh, this is the great picture right here. And then it's like, let me just make sure, even if in fact, I literally did it this morning. I was shooting the Highmark building had the Irish flag projected on it, and it had the green spire, and I was set up to get a shot straight on, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk, and I walked up, and sure enough, I was off by like a couple of degrees where the spire wasn't quite centered, and if I wouldn't have walked up the road, it would have seemed like it was off center. So it's tough to say, okay, this is how you take a good picture because it's just tough to teach that.
So it's just something that you just know if you know, as they would like to say.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would imagine like you said, I mean, there are some things that like you have built in order to kind of like enhance, what you, like you said, I mean, never hitting the shutter until you walk, the length or whatever. I mean, like I noticed that like, you're out there pretty early, like,
almost every day.
Yeah, so every day you're out there early. I mean, like, because I see the foggy photos or whatever, and then I'll see him events. So it's like, so there's got to be some like, like what are some of the I guess like the work ethics, like, I mean, that you've built into your own routines that kind of help you. I mean, like, because, again, like people can have a skill, people can have an eye, but like, there's certain things that people do that kind of day ingrained. Like there's got to be some kind of system or whatever that you put in there that kind of like separates you from the pack. Because like without that work, you don't, that skill doesn't matter.
Sure. So, I mean, one thing that I definitely use is there's an app that will tell you where the sun rises every day and what time it rises. And so this morning I knew that if I was by that the Hatch building right along West Carson there, right by the Fort Pitt Bridge, if I was in front of that building, I knew the sun was going to rise right behind the city. And I didn't know what it was going to look like, but I knew that if there were some low clouds, maybe they could get lit up or whatever. And it ended up, I got this awesome sunrise right behind the city where if I did, number one, if I hadn't been doing this for a decade, I wouldn't have known that. But if I didn't have that app, then I wouldn't have known, okay, at 7:40 this morning, the sun's going to be right beside PPG Place, and it's going to be hopefully like spreading these light rays over the city. So things like that, moonrise, sunrise. I use an app called Clear Skies that'll tell you if the sky is not clear, which is a little, it tells you when there's going to be fog. So I use stuff like that to kind of help predict when I'm going to go out and where I'm going to go.
So do you, so often you don't have a, game plan going into the day. It's basically you'll compile some information, be like, I'm going to go and just shoot whatever. So you're just like, I'm going to shoot whatever I can that's beautiful.
Yep. Yeah. It's, if you go in, I used to, when I first started, it's like, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to picture the incline today, or I'm going to go in, I'm going to get a picture of PPG Place today. And that just never works, because then you're trying to pigeonhole yourself and you're like, okay, I gotta do this, but why do I have to? So now it's just, I'm going to go into the city, I'm going to see what I see. And a lot of times stuff like, that I shot this, beautiful double rainbow a couple years ago over the city, and I was on my couch drinking beer, playing Zelda on Switch, and I the game was loading. I pull up Twitter, and I see that they were saying that a small rain shower was moving through. Well, I look out, it was sunny out, so if it's sunny and rain's coming through, that usually means a rainbow is going to come through afterward. So, I got up to Mount Washington literally with 3 minutes to spare. And then 3 minutes after, this beautiful double rainbow appeared over the city. And like that picture was on, in the Washington Post, on Deadspin, like it was just, but that was totally luck, right? If I hadn't been playing video games on my couch and waiting for Zelda to load, I never would have, pulled up Twitter to see that it was going to be raining in 10 minutes.
Well, I don't see that as luck, though. There's a dedication in that I find to be admirable. You know what I mean? Like, just you're ready at a moment's notice. Like we joked before and said you ain't got to get ready when you stay ready. And I think that's very applicable to what you do, because it seems like you're at a moment's notice. Like, you out here, I'm gonna get it. Like, what do you find to be more impactful though? Pictures like where you can capture the double rainbow, or where you capture moments like the duck?
I don't know. That's a tough question. Commercially, obviously, the double rainbow was much better for my bottom line than the picture of the duck. But the capturing moments like the duck, or the Pirates playoff games where they were few but fleeting. I still have people come in and ask for those, because the one year I got a picture of from behind home plate of someone waving the Jolly Roger flag before the game started, and people come in and ask for that picture every month. So moments like that, but those are the moments. Pictures like, maybe not necessarily the duck, but pictures of the, them waving the flag from the Penn's Stanley Cup Champions parade. Those are the pictures that I'm most proud of, right? Okay. Because those are the double rainbow. I was in the right place at the right time. I, happened to be there, but capturing moments like that it kind of like brings the city together. Those are the ones that I'm really proud of, really proud of capturing.
What is like a personal fave of yours, and like why? Not so much the most popular one.
He got something in the vault he can't talk about.
Yeah, but like, yeah,
he got something in the vault
outside of your bedroom. What are some of your favorite scenes that you may be like, because as an artist you have, because I know like there's some jokes that I've like written that I've been like, oh man, that's the one. But fuck, they don't. Fuck them. They don't appreciate that shit.
They don't get it.
They don't get it. They don't deserve this motherfucker.
Is that something in photography? Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, like is there like a photo like that's near and dear to you that might not have gotten the the traction or whatever that you like, but like for you, you're like, man, that's Motherfuckers don't know.
Outside of, obviously outside of like pictures of my kids and things like that, I took a picture 2 winters ago. It was from like above Millvale looking back over at Lawrenceville and Children's Hospital and Polish Hill. And it was 144 image panorama. It could be printed like 250 feet wide. And it took me forever to shoot it, took me forever to process it. And it got like 130 likes, and I was like, man. Like I went out like that was the time that I went out. I was like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to shoot this picture because I've never seen, I've seen pictures from there because I've shot them from there before. I've never seen a picture, stretching like that wide. And you guys know where I'm talking about, like looking back
like
down
Lawrenceville, like that whole, like, because if you're up on like, say like the Spring Hill or whatever, like from that.
Looking back over the river. And it's like just a really cool perspective where you can see like the row houses going up the hill and like I said, all the way over to the church in Polish Hill, it's got the green dome on it, which is slipping my mind, But it was like, okay, this is a really cool picture. It's a really cool point of view, and it just like bombed. Like that was a little deflating.
And I don't know what this first world problem. Somebody bomb with your 130 likes. But I wish I could get 130.
Do you think it might have been like the limitation of the app? Like that was able to.
That's probably fair.
Like because like you said, because
if it's this wide,
if you're talking about like it could be blown up to 250 feet or whatever, that's a lot of detail. And Instagram crunches shit down, so you're not going to get the same. And then like you could slide it a bunch of times, but like it's different seeing it on Instagram than if it was actually like say like printed out and like on a. Like if I saw that on a wall, like walking into somebody's office and just saw like
you just keep walking,
and seeing like all Lawrence would be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like I think,
and that's a fair point. And I just just to be fair, I couldn't care less how many likes a picture gets. That doesn't mean I don't rate my photography by that. But it was still disappointing that it was just like this is like that. And that's probably. Outside of my popular images, like that's probably one of my favorite images I've shot, just because so much work went into it, so much planning went into it, and I've actually never even printed it out. Maybe I should, but it was just a really cool point. Because I've taken how many pictures from Mount Washington? There's only so many times you can see that picture, even for me. But I've got a store to run, and people will come in and they'll see pictures. Like I've got pictures of Cary Furnace in there. I've got pictures of Colorado and New York, and they'll be like, "Oh wow, that's from the Empire State Building. That's great. I'll take the incline picture over here." And it's like
Pittsburgh. That's what they do. That's how the Pittsburghers are.
You got any pictures of Buffalo?
Maybe one. I went to a wedding up there a couple of years ago. Right. I might have some selfies.
Hold on, I'm about to represent for the Midwest, man. Buffalo, stand up. Stand up, Buffalo. You need to go to the 50-yard line, man. Get some pictures of some other team scoring on Buffalo. Stand up, Buffalo. All right. No, but I would say, do you think that the disappointment stems from like, I don't know how much, people outside of your industry actually appreciate what goes into art. Like if I see, for example, if you're shooting, you talked about shooting a wedding in Buffalo. So if I'm looking through a photo album of a wedding, I'm not really thinking about, man, he captured that at the right angle, boom, boom. I'm looking at, that tux look nice, or you know what I mean? Like I'm not even like, I'm not appreciative of the motherfucker that enhanced or really brought that out.
Yeah, because I've seen some terrible fucking wedding photos.
Yeah, look at my first wedding.
Like,
you'll see them.
There's like shadows in the background and shit, and it looked like it'd be looking like real.
It looked like a motherfucker was sitting in the wedding like, yo, smile.
Yeah, like just on some like, just like on some like just some hood ass, just like, oh yo, what's good? We just out here bullshitting. You know what I mean? It almost like a documentary gonna come out, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we didn't know it then, but like, this is the time he was a serial killer. Like, it really looked like, some terrible shit. So like, it wasn't until I saw like terrible wedding photos that I appreciated when a motherfucker looked like clean as shit. Like, oh, whatever. I mean,
yeah, and that's probably a pretty fair point, because I don't, I'm not gonna sit there, and whenever I posted the picture, I didn't say all that stuff because I like. No one cares about that, right? I mean, no one cares that, how long it took me to shoot it, how long it took me to process it. The image should stand, on its own, with the, regardless of how much time you put into it. It should still be a good image. But, I think you're right. The subject matter, how I posted it, because people might not just relate to Lawrenceville as they relate to Pittsburgh skyline. To be fair, I didn't go to Lawrenceville until I was like 28 years old, you know.
I hear
so
that Lawrenceville was not always
Listen,
a great
Lawrenceville
place.
was not a place that you wanted to go to until you like, I was surprised when motherfuckers told me they was going to Lawrence. I was like, wait, what happened down there? Like, I mean, because like it was the same thing with Waterfront. I mean, like before I left, like I mean, before I left, it was Homestead, whatever. I mean, shout out to Homestead, cool shit. But like, you know, motherfuckers didn't just hang out in Homestead or whatever. And like when I left to go to college, it was Lowe's and Lowe's. Those were the two motherfucking things down there. And then I came back home. I was like, yeah, let's go down to the water. Let's hang out. I was like, the fuck you talking about? You know what I mean, so, but yeah, no, I mean, it is a beautiful, like that is a beautiful thing. Just because I've seen that vantage point, it is like one of those, like even like driving down 28, I mean,
Sure.
like look over or whatever, like. It's beautiful to like look across and see all the traffic that you're missing by not like driving driving down my fucking
Liberty.
Butler. Yeah, I mean
Butler, yeah.
I mean like so but yeah. So I mean I don't know, like who like I mean I guess you hobnob with some of the who's in the city or whatever, you know what I mean? Like who are some of your favorite folks to kind of like, you know, shoot
like shoot with or like just like
do you shoot with people? Or?
No, I mean, so
Is there like
not
collaborative,
really.
like I mean, photos or whatever? But
not really, just because you know I have a day job, so you know it's if I shoot in the morning, you know I'm usually rushing out to get to work on time, and then you know I've got 2 kids, so you know I don't spend a lot. You know if I go into the city, I mean I was in the city a couple nights ago from like 9 until 1:30 because the kids were in bed, and I was hoping there were going to be some storms coming through, but I just don't. I just don't have a lot of time just to, you know, hang out in the city like all day long. I would like to do that, but I just don't. But
There's nothing happening. Nothing worth hanging. Look, man, you don't have 2 kids. All right, let the multiple kid fathers talk. All right,
listen,
you don't know the struggle of having
no,
2 of them things at the house.
We got 3 kids.
They
but they
grown
all
as hell.
though. So yeah, I mean, I'm
You got
I remember
3 other contributing adults.
I remember back in the day when I mean, but yeah, no, they grown. So
that turnip don't look too spiffy. Man, but he said they was asleep. I was like, why wasn't you asleep? Like, I'm saying, like, what the fuck you was doing out? Man, they was asleep. Man, shit, I wish I could go to bed at 9:30. Man, please.
but no, I've had some fun opportunities to be able to, you know, shoot, like I said, the Penguins victory parades and, you know, some Steeler games. Some, you know, I did an Instagram takeover with the Pirates a couple years ago on a fireworks night. So I've got to do, you know, a lot of fun stuff like that. And that's, you know, that's one of my favorite things about living in Pittsburgh. You know, I got to do when the History Center did their, the Pittsburgh exhibit last year. I was, you know, they picked 12 people to go through like a rotating slideshow of images, and the other people were like Rick Seaback was on there. It's like, you're gonna put my name up on a sign with Rick Seaback? Like that's you know, that's a life goal right there. And Ginny, Ginny Martinez. So you know that was really awesome, and I got a chance. I know Rick was just here a couple episodes ago, and I met Rick a couple times, but you know, the latest event, he actually signed a picture for me, one of like my incline pictures, and it said, you know, to Dave, it's nice to see someone else see the city as I do, or something around that, and signed it.
Man,
it was like
that, man.
it was like,
I hate
you
people
know,
like that got them jewels to drop. I don't have them.
it don't happen like that.
I would have signed it like, to Dave, holla at your boy. Something stupid. Like,
to be fair, if he would have signed that, that might have been better.
Dave, dope ass pictures.
Rick,
dope picture Dave. Dave with the dope pics. Like, I just run out of words.
You killing it.
Like, you killing it, keep killing it.
Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. You the man, Dave. Day.
It'd be like when you sign cards at work for somebody who like they just quit, like retired or something. Be looking at the messages. People have all these impactful messages. I just be like, congratulations.
Oh shit! I thought this was the birthday card.
Bro, yo, the worst. You ever work in an office and they just hand you a card and they be like, sign it. You be like, for who? It's like so and so in Department D. Like, yeah, I mean, she just had a baby. Like, I ain't never interacted with this.
Hope you can raise this motherfucker.
Like, fuck you, man. It's like, why do you even want me to sign it? Happy baby day. Like, what are you supposed to say to that shit? Like, I don't know. The office politics is a whole nother motherfucker.
I mean, I work in an office, so yeah, I feel you.
Do they ask you to take pictures? See,
so
I have, yeah, I have.
For
I did
you,
headshots a
that
couple
could
years
be
ago.
cool because like they could ask you to do stuff. That's a paid opportunity. Like I work in the office, they be asking me to tell jokes. No, I'm not telling no jokes right now.
And especially free. Like, dude, you get a lot of motherfuckers be like, yo, hook me up with the free dips. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, like if like with comedy, like with comedians, anytime we're out, like motherfuckers be like, when we be like, yo, I'm a comedian, they be like, well, tell me a joke. Give me some free shit. I mean, like when you say you're a photographer, do motherfuckers be like, well, take my picture? Like, is that? I
mean, it's whenever I'm out taking pictures, people say that all the time, and it's it's a little awkward. You know, because it's like, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to show you the back of the camera? Like, is this what you want? You know, is this good? You want me to set up some lighting for you here? Is this good? Take you to my studio.
How much free shit do you want from me right now?
I guess you're buffered by how involved it has to be because you can't, like, if I work with you, I can't be like, yo, I'm having a wedding next week. You think you can come through and shoot it?
Actually, you're invited. If you want to bring your camera, that would be great too.
I feel like if my outfit was popping that day at the job, I'd be like, yo, Dave, I'm saying you got that in there so I can like.
Have you seen that kind of blow where people like, yo, I'm feeling real fly today. Like I'm feeling fly with my flannel under the thing. Yo, when you ever get in your car, you see yourself in your car, we're like, oh shit, hold on.
Yeah, you
line is fresh.
Get the glimpse like,
oh yeah, damn. Oh shit.
Get the little hey, I'm about to see David a little bit.
I'm about to see this motherfucker. He got a satchel and shit. Let me get my shit together.
Shit, if I knew I was working with a Dave Dicello, I'd probably come in with a little bit more. I would probably care a little bit more.
Well, it's a little. It's, to be honest, it's a little awkward whenever people like I don't know come up. We just hired a new girl in our department a couple months ago, and literally the first thing she said was, "Oh, I love your photography." And to me, that's weird because like my work and my photography, are separate. I mean, my boss knows obviously because she's
and that sucks when they find out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, no, but she, like I said, she was my boss. Years ago I got rehired for her, so she understands and she's.
Oh, you like
she's
your
cool
boss?
With it.
Okay, cool.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, mine.
But
is, I'm not gonna speak on it.
I don't like people.
She might listen.
I've never liked people that I worked with.
But it's just it's weird, because like I just like to keep them separate, like because to me they're two different worlds.
It's important.
I've got my photography, and so that's why even I used to be on my social media a little bit more, I don't know, abrasive. We'll say like 4 or 5 years ago, and now I've tried to be a little bit more PC because. You never know who's. It's like Andy Garcia and his casino.
Yeah, that's why I got it.
You never know. You never know who's listening.
This motherfucker. I don't. You ain't even got my government, so I say whatever the fuck I want.
I mean, that ship has sailed for me.
We fucked up. You got 2 kids. You don't have time to think of some moniker. Nigga, you going with your real shit. You got 2 kids.
I came into the game.
I named 2 kids, bro. They took my ideas, and one of them I named my stage name. I was fuck it, bro. This is what you are. You want you extension of me.
I ain't got that to do, man. Like shit, I'm always gonna be a little bit undercover. But I mean, that is a nice intersection. I mean, I'd imagine. Like, do you get work through like coworkers? Do they ever bring you anything? Does it help out in that regard? Like,
I think I've done 3 or 4 weddings through work. And a couple just like family pictures. But again, I don't. I'm confident in my work, but if they don't like it, then I got to see them every day. I don't. It'll be like,
and on their wedding day, I wonder like how
they all turned out great.
Like
let me just say that. Yeah, exactly. They all turned out great though, but still, it was like, and I still get I still get, requests for that. And I don't shoot weddings anymore, just because, whenever it was just my wife and I, and, we had every day together, if I gave up, 15 or 20 Saturdays a year, it was fine. But now giving up 15, 20 Saturdays, it's a lot.
Tell them how you really feel. Fuck shooting your wedding. I'm not trying to sit here and be working hard as fuck, and everybody else in here is just happy, having a great fucking time. I'm sweating.
Knees aching and shit.
It is brutal. It's a long day.
It's a lot
and
of
that's
angles.
And that's the easiest part of shooting a wedding is the actual wedding. I probably spend 100 to 120 hours per wedding, and so the 8 hours I spend shooting the wedding is the shortest and easiest part of it. The editing and meeting with and building the albums and everything. So,
man, I do not envy photography and editing and any of those.
Shout out to you. Shout out to Buzzy. We got to shout out Buzzy.
Yeah,
Buzzy,
man. Buzzy out here,
Every
motherfucking.
wedding I was asked to do.
You said no to every wedding?
Buzzy, don't ask Buzzy to shoot your motherfucking wedding. Buzzy gonna shoot our wedding though. I'm gonna, if I ever, we ever do that damn thing, Buzzy gonna be there or whatever. He gonna have a camera around. I'm gonna be like, he's gonna be shit faced.
You're gonna get Buzzy high at your wedding.
He might not come there to shoot the wedding, but at some point he'll have a camera in his motherfucking hand.
You're gonna have some equipment to shoot the wedding. Like I don't know. I would be nervous to shoot a wedding. Like I can get on stage in front of hundreds of thousands of people and be fine, but to shoot your wedding, that's a large ass responsibility. There's no redo on that.
Yeah, I don't want to do anything at your wedding. Even if you ask me to perform at your wedding, I don't want to do that shit either. You know what I mean? Because that's the day. That's their day. You know what I mean? If that goes wrong, I can't have a bad set on your day.
You cannot fuck that up.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I had to. So I was my one boy had me as his best man. So you gotta give a speech. I was nervous as shit about that speech. And so here's what fucked me up even more. The maid of honor, she went religious on her speech. I'm like, come on, man, you gonna bury me like that with the I don't know no Bible verses. I don't got nothing positive to say.
Austin 3:16.
I didn't even bless this union. You know what I mean? I'm just here because that's my man's. I don't even know you for real. Like you just my man's fiance right now, and now you the wife. But I killed it though. I mean, I went straight humor, man. I was just like, fuck it. I got a bottle of Hennessy right here.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how the wife felt about it, but it was funny to the rest of the people.
My boy, one of my best friends, Keith or whatever, him and his wife or whatever, they put together. What they did was they recreated that one scene. You remember Martin, and they had that scene where like Gina and Martin first met, and like they took it from Gina's perspective, and then they took it from Martin's perspective. So they did that like in our living room. So I had my boy Neil come through, and like we had a bunch of friends come in and like film that, and like it was this whole like skit setup where they like recreated.
Oh, they really wanted to be.
It was wild as hell, man.
They love each other.
And what
real.
they did was like, so it was down at the Andy Warhol. They had the wedding at the Andy Warhol Museum.
Oh, they made it.
They had like the theater there or whatever. So like we filmed this shit. Like my boy Neil edited it or whatever. We all acted and had different parts and like set it all up and did this whole fucking thing. And then they did it at the wedding, like before the vows or whatever. They were like, well, let's tell you about how we met. And then it went like, it was like Keith was like, oh, let me tell you. And then like they have a screen and they show Keith's version and then they show Sarah's version afterward. And it was dope as shit. Like, like it took it was good, like 20 folks making it happen or whatever. But that was like it was weird because like they asked me to, like, hey, can you help us do this or whatever? And like, I was like, all right, but like, it was like, if that shit didn't hit, then that shit didn't like hit.
Damn, if that didn't hit, imagine if they divorced. now I got to invoice you for the time I put to that video, fam. I didn't put this time into this video for this shit not to last. You want me to do this video again?
Well, they got 2 kids, so even like so they married for life anyway. So I think we solidified.
All
in
right,
that.
cool.
Yeah.
I would have had to have a sit down with my man's like, look, bro, I understand you love her. But fuck all that. You want me to take up my 2 Saturdays and do this. I need to know that you really committed to this.
Yeah.
Like, I need this to work.
I mean, there's no doubt it is a very stressful because you get one chance at everything, right? So I always have a second shooter who happens to be my cousin, and she's great. Yeah. But that it always is it. You just never know. And then, you look at the back of the camera for the first kiss and the first dance, and you hope that you got, the bride looking at her dad crying and smiling. It's like, oh, thank God. And then, yeah.
You got shooters?
What's that?
You got shooters?
Oh yeah.
That shit's dope.
Yeah.
Do you like? I mean, how many?
Gotta shoot.
He said,
Dave
yeah.
got
He feel like he got the
shooters.
shit. He had the second to cut in the tuck. You ain't even seen it.
Cousin in the scut. That's a scary sight.
Yeah, you didn't even see it over there. I mean, do you come with like hella gigs? I mean, what is like? Tell me a bit about like the technology that like, I mean, that you, because I'd imagine. Well, I don't imagine. I mean, like. That's a huge part of this. You know what I mean, like not only the equipment that you have on hand, but also like the upgrading and keeping like with like the trends and whatnot. Because everybody else is out there. And somebody's always going to have the newest camera. They're going to have the biggest like gigabytes, so like they can shoot like with the shutter or whatever and fill up
the automatic.
Yeah, now they got like terabyte.
You got the 40 cal.
Yeah, they got terabyte like drives and shit like that. So there's all these different ways that you can like up your game or whatever. So like, I mean, I guess tell me about like how you stay in. I mean, and how you decide what's worth investing in versus like what I can do for now until the next thing.
It's truly exhausting. It's probably my least favorite part, other than the taxes, about photography. It's because there is something new that comes out, all the time. And for anyone who says that cameras, your camera and your lens don't matter, they're just straight lying.
They're
because
poor.
I mean,
Poor.
yeah, well,
They're poor. They don't have enough money to get a new camera.
and to be fair, if you had a $2,000 camera or a $3,000 camera, that's not going to matter. But if you have a $300 camera and a $5,000 camera, you could probably get the same picture one time, but consistently, there's always articles like, can you tell if this was an iPhone or a $4,000 camera? It's like, okay, for that one shot, maybe I can't tell, but you want every other picture that I put my gear through that whenever I shoot these lightning storms, 4th of July, I took 5,000 pictures. I mean, because there were storms coming through and they lasted for like 3 hours. And if you have a $300 camera or even a $700 camera, if you take 5,000 pictures, I know I had all 3 cameras that I have shooting that day, but it's going to wear them out,
So there's like wear and
get
tear.
tired.
Oh yeah, they do.
A camera got tired, they get all
They get like
blurry.
heated up and shit. Like it's like.
I mean,
Pixie
batteries can
blurry.
overheat. There's, the shutters are only rated for so many actuations, so after 1,000 or 100,000 or so is when they start.
So the barrel gets hot, like what I mean.
Well,
like,
yeah, exactly. So most of the time that I need something new, I don't need something new. I just want something new. But over 10 years, I've acquired enough gear to be able to say, okay, I'm going to sell this because I want that. So it's kind of been nice to be able to like swap things out like that. 5 or 6 years ago, it was tougher because it was like, oh well, I don't have this, so I just have to. If I want it, I just have to buy it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or make it work with what I have. But now it's like, okay, I don't use this lens anymore, but I really want this one, so I'm going to sell this one, get a trade in, and then buy that one.
Yeah,
but
getting in is harder than the upgrade.
It is, yeah. And I mean, and even so, over the or right before Christmas, there was a new. So I've got 2 types of cameras. I've got a mirrorless camera, which doesn't, it's much thinner. It doesn't have the shutter that goes up and down. And then I've got Nikon's, flagship SLR, and the
Buzzy gives you approval.
on which one? The mirrorless. Oh, both. Okay.
Both, he said.
And but Nikon came out with one that didn't have the mirror in it, and it was like supposed to be the next great thing. So I bought it on release day, and I hated it. It was the newest camera, and it was terrible. So I traded it in for a camera that I already had. Now I have 2 of the same camera. But sometimes I kind of got ahead of myself there because it was like this. I didn't read any reviews. It's like, this is the new camera, I have to have it, and so I traded in a bunch of shit, got that one, and it was like, this is terrible. I hate it. So
what are they advertising? So when a new camera comes out, what are they selling? What's the selling point to these new cameras?
well, on that particular one, it was a mirrorless one, so it didn't have the shutter, so it was much smaller. The image quality was supposed to be better, and it just, for me, it just didn't work. I just didn't like it.
If as a non-industry, whatever, like, I'm assuming everyone's going to say this camera, the image will be better. But what does that even mean? Like, we're up to 4K. Like, I personally, if TVs and all that shit stopped where they are now, that shit's way better than when we were playing Zelda back in the day. Yeah, like, I'm Gucci. Like, what more can you do for me? What Tyrese said? What more do you want from me?
Like, I mean, you can literally see like Like, I mean, like I was watching, even like I was watching a Predator, the movie or whatever. You know what I mean?
hate watching and looking at old shit.
When I first got the TV or whatever, and like it was big. It looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger was on my TV. He was bigger than real life. Like his head was the size of like half my body, and it looked crystal clear and crisp. That's better than what my eye can do. I can't see him as clearly as that fucking look. And they were shooting that shit back in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so like, yeah, that is a crazy thing. And it's like, how much better can you get, and what is the purpose?
They want, the goal is to make, more megapixels in a smaller package, right? So to be able to print larger stuff from a smaller camera. And for me, I have my smaller mirrorless camera now. But my larger one, my Nikon they both have their purpose, right? So the other one's better for shooting sports. This one's better for shooting landscapes and for just taking to the park with my kids, just because it's smaller, but it can produce, images that I could sell if I wanted to, So it's, but yeah, the gear acquisition syndrome. I mean, they literally, that's what they call it. Gas.
They gassing you.
Yeah. It's some people just have to have the latest gear, and I fell victim before the holidays, and it cost me, a couple $100 because I had to trade in my camera to get a different one. And obviously, when you drive a car off the lot, it loses its value. When I opened the box of that camera, it lost its value. So I got less for it than what I bought, paid for it. So, but I'm happier now because camera just wasn't. But like I said, the camera was a great camera. It just didn't work for what I wanted, what I was looking for in it. So
two questions. One, are there like sites and communities where like you like trade and like on like equipment or whatever, this and the other? And two, like what is it that like you don't have as a photographer, or is even in photography that like, you want to see in a camera? Like, cause I'm like, when it comes to technology, like I've always, like my phone is my computer. Like I don't have, like a laptop that I work with. So like there's certain things on my phone that I'm like, oh man, I wish it could do this, or I wish it could do that. And I'm waiting. And I know that like people are also thinking about that, and I'm waiting for that technology to be developed. So like, yeah, what technology are you waiting to be developed in the camera world?
3D cameras.
I mean, they kind of have those.
Kind of, but
they don't know.
3D cameras.
So in terms of like the groups, there are websites that you can buy and sell used gear, but I use a local camera shop. Local. They're in Youngstown, Ohio, or Boardman, Ohio. So,
told you, Youngstown was out here, man.
Boardman, Chevy. Shout out to Cruz.
Yeah.
Isn't that Boardman? No, it's not ain't Boardman. No, that's
not anymore. Yeah.
No, Lordstown is Boardman.
We just
Lordstown is.
We are on a mission to make Youngstown relevant.
Youngstown. Listen, I bought some cars out at Boardman. There's a huge ass.
It's better to buy cars in Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio. You always got to get your. Like I don't know what the fuck. They're always cheaper. You ain't got to worry about the fucking taxes and all that shit. It's what
we ain't worried about taxes, nigga. We ain't fixing our streets. Go ahead.
But yeah, so this camera shop called YM Camera. They were great at marketing because they joined the Pittsburgh Photographers Facebook group. So, they kind of like injecting themselves in, and now everybody wants to go out there to buy their, because the guy, the owner and his son are like the first camera I bought. So last or 2 summers ago, I have a kayak, and I was out shooting one morning on the kayak, and one of my lenses decided it wanted to take a swim in the Allegheny, which is always,
he
was a little hot.
Thirsty.
Yeah.
He was like,
yeah. So, they don't come back from that. So, but I reached out to this camera shop, before I had done anything with them, and literally the next day he was like, "I'm going to be in Pittsburgh. Can I just, deliver it to you?" So he met me in Dormont. I live in Mount Lebanon.
Customer service.
Yeah, exactly. So I've bought everything since that day from them. So they're great about that. Yeah. So and for the Eclipse 2 years ago, I realized I went down to Kentucky for it, and I realized
that whole nationwide.
Yeah,
Eclipse. You used the app. You had to be on that. Like
I was literally 70 feet from the absolute center of the totality of Eclipse. Wow. That's how close we got. We were in a field, like literally in a cornfield in the middle of Princeton, Kentucky. It was just.
Were like
you know how
there were a bunch of people out there with y'all? Like,
but yeah, there were like 12 or 13 people out there. But you know how like you know how like
I thought it would be like a field of
from the photography, like trying to catch that.
Well, people went. It went from I mean, it was all across. So people went down to South Carolina from here. People were in Tennessee. A lot of people were into Nashville. But you know how like whenever like an 80s or 90s like horror movie starts or like in a little town, that's the town that this was in. Like at this,
Yeah,
I mean,
nobody ever
literally-
heard of Princeton, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Princeton is probably trying
like-
to sue Kentucky just for naming their town Princeton. Like, no,
Jeepers
don't-
Creepers.
It was-
shit.
it was-
I mean, that's where you
that
get
was-
that
I mean,
kind of-
we drove through and it was a little shaky, but anyway, so I mean, we left on a Sunday night for the eclipse, and on Thursday I realized I didn't have the lens I wanted, and I called this camera shop, and they had it to me on Friday morning. I mean, I called them at 3:00 on Thursday, and at 10:00 Friday morning it showed up to my door. So that they're great.
shit.
They're great for that. But
Who they use? That ain't FedEx.
I don't.
They use the helicopter.
They borrowed my helicopter, which I'm going to leave here in. But YM camera, yeah, they're great. But in terms of technology that I want, I don't know. I mean, my cameras have everything that I need, and everything else is just
But I mean,
superfluous
they
from there.
can't have everything you need because you keep upgrading. You keep
I
getting
know,
gassed,
that's
you know what I
fair,
mean?
yeah.
Like if they keep coming out with shit that
They
you
keep
want,
gassing
like,
you up.
Yeah, I mean, so like they gotta be like you gotta be like, I'm perfectly fine until they be like, but do you like it? They'll be like, well, I don't know what you get. Like,
You unfaithful to them cameras. You're not in
these
the-
bros ain't long.
I mean, it's like, if you were a race car driver and they gave you a car that could go, 200 miles an hour and you love the car, it's like, well, they can't have that car. We can drive 240 miles an hour now. It's like, okay, I was happy with the 200, but if I can get 240, I'm going to go 240.
Well, I mean, but
Ladies, listen up.
there's
Upgrade yourself.
I don't know, man. Even if it's like, man, you give me a car to go 240, like, I ain't gonna pass about 150. Yeah, I mean, so it don't even like.
I said if you're a race car driver. I said if you're a race car driver.
Yeah, if you're a race car driver.
driver,
Yeah, I guess because you're a
But
professional.
they still be
yeah,
selling
I mean.
what's on the dash. They sell that to people. Like, it's 160 on the dash. Like,
Yeah,
motherfucker, the
that
speed
ain't-
limit is 65.
And they got the chips in there, so like, yeah, I mean, that shit is inhibited.
got
so,
an
I mean,
extra
like,
95 I can't do.
Like my speed warnings start coming up over 100, and like I've never pushed it past like $130. So like,
you got a good car. I don't even know nothing about that.
But I would imagine like with the dampeners or with those chips or whatever, like they gotta. I don't know what the limit is. Like there's a legal limit somewhere in the country. I don't know what that is.
I have
But
no
they
idea
dampen
what
them
you're
shit.
talking
So I don't think you can get up to $160 in most of these motherfuckers
Really?
legally.
Man.
Yeah, I mean like.
Well, there's nowhere you're doing
Montana.
it legally.
Maybe Montana.
Yeah, not Nevada or some shit like that. Yeah,
Shit,
mean,
I was in Atlanta. They got speed limits of 90 on
yeah.
fucking gravel roads. I'm like, bruh, this
fucking
ain't even
love
got a.
driving in the South.
I don't like driving in Atlanta when they hit them side streets and they be doing 90. I be like, bruh, how do you feel doing this? This seem like a good decision.
Depends on
to
the
you?
pothole situation, but see, they down south, so they ain't got the potholes like we
Yeah.
do. You see what I'm saying?
We not.
So-
I'm not even talking about being on a city street, and
You
I'm
talking
on a
about just like
side
in an alley,
I'm
like
on a
you-
road in Princeton, Georgia, Princeton, Atlanta, on this cornfield, and you doing 90 busting U-turns. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I personally like. I mean, I don't know if I could drive that, but I get it. Yeah, I mean, if people go so fast, but I mean, wouldn't there be at some point like a limit to what you? Yeah, I mean, you'd be like, man, look, y'all is
See-through
y'all
cameras.
you took it too far.
Yeah, see-through
Nikon.
cameras.
I guess
you took it too far.
I guess the issue is, as they keep increasing the megapixels of the camera. So, mine right now, I think it's 46. I don't even know. I think it's 46. But my file sizes are 100 megabytes each. And you just can't have the storage, right? You talk about terabyte hard drives. I've got a 12 terabyte external hard drive that I use because you just at 100 megabytes a piece. I mean,
12 terabytes?
12 terabytes, yeah.
Damn.
But
I got a 4-dip, and I've been using that bitch for like 4 years.
For life,
And my, like,
you straight for life.
yeah, I got
You
about
never gotta
25%, and I'm putting on like full ass movies and
You
series
ain't
on that bitch.
never
Like,
got to delete nothing.
yeah, like I be trying to like max that bitch out. Like
They got
Well,
pics that happened in his pocket on his phone. He just saved them. They just be all black. Fuck it, ain't no need to delete it. I got 4 terabytes.
just keep it going. Yeah, it's all right. Put it on the tab.
That's probably the only issue is if they come up with like an 80 megapixel camera that's going to have 200 megabyte files. But other than that, like I said, I mean, I try not to focus on gear, but sometimes, like I said, it's just if you have the better gear, then you never have to worry about if you're gonna fuck something up. Whenever I was in Colorado last year and I'm shooting pictures of the Milky Way, I was there the year before with a lesser camera, and last year I was able to get much better pictures because I had a better camera. I didn't have to do so much post processing to make sure that I took out the noise, so I got the same picture, but it looked better. So
faster.
Yeah, exactly. It was easier to get, and if you want to pay for convenience, then to have the nicer gear, it makes sense.
So with technology increasing, and Dave spoke about his phone being his computer, right? Is there some within your industry? Do you all like the enhancements to the cameras on the phone? Do you feel like they'll never get to the point where it can replace an actual photographer? Because people are always in their phones; they're always taking pictures. Do you see where people are like? The requests for, I don't know if your industry's impacted at all. I wonder.
There's always the argument in the industry where people are mad, not mad, but people get upset about the just starting out photographers who are going to come in with a $500 camera and charge you $500 to shoot a wedding. I charge $4,000 to shoot a wedding.
Man, you better make me look like Boris Kodjoe.
You will. but you get two photographers, you get a lot of stuff, after the wedding from me. But you have someone coming in with $500, saying, okay, I'll shoot your whole wedding. And if you put them side by side, it's going to be really clear which one's the $400 wedding and which one's the $4,000 wedding. So I'm not concerned about technology in phones or anything like that, and I don't think they're going to degrade the industry at all, because if you're going to pay $500 for a wedding, you're always going to pay $500 for a wedding. You're never going to pay even $2,000 for a wedding, right? So that the threat of people coming in and trying to I don't view there being as, because guess what, we were all newbies at some point in time, right? I couldn't come in and charge $4,000 to shoot a wedding, and so you got to work your way up to there. So that never really bothered me, and I think that people have to start somewhere.
Yeah, so what was the point where you was like, what, 4,000 is where I'm doing on this wedding? Like, you come in at the lower price point, but what did you see about the weddings that you were shooting? It was like, I gotta take this price up.
Well, it was really about the amount of work that I was putting in. It was, and process. Like I said, now there's a trade off, right? Because before shooting weddings, so I started out, I was charging like $2,100, $2,200, but now my time is worth more to me, right? So if you want me, if I'm going to spend a weekend away, it's got to be worth it for me. And I don't say that out of any kind of arrogance. It's my time is more valuable. My free time is more valuable now than it was 6 years ago. So that's, and I've learned a lot, I've shot almost 100 weddings. So, that comes with experience, right? Whenever I shot 0 weddings, you were getting 0 experience. And now you're getting 7 years of wedding experience and a second shooter. So all that kind of comes into play.
You'll keep this picture after the divorce.
Yeah.
Tell them that. Yeah. That could be, that'd be a good tagline.
Listen, even if you get divorced, you're going to keep the 24 by 36 picture up above your bed.
Yeah, as somebody said that, it's like, like you're paying for my experience, you're not paying for the, you're not paying for that 100 hours or whatever that I'm putting into it. You're paying for the 10 years that I developed this talent. You see what I'm saying? Like,
and people say that all the time. They come into my store and they look at a picture and be like, I can get that printed at Sam's Club for $8. It's like, but can you take the picture? That's the thing.
Is Sam gonna take that motherfucker?
Yeah.
What are you know, Sam?
Yeah. So that's and my employees are good about it. But like that's what frustrates me most about the industry. People coming in and saying, oh, well, you're gonna charge me $200 for this size print. I can get that for $40 at Costco. Well, yeah, or I can take that picture. And I'll say, they've actually said to people, can you, or my employees have said, well, then why don't you just print that one out? If you have that picture, can you just print it out then? Why are you even in here? Why are you trying to buy a picture?
There's a point where you just, as a customer service person, you gotta just get raw with them. Like, well, then just do it then. You come here talking all this shit, then make it happen, fam. You're not gonna come in here talking shit. Like, just make it happen. Let me know. Show me.
The customer's always right, so you so damn right. You're writing about your way then.
I need to
Well,
start a
and-
business where that is the model. Like, you know, where like Chick-fil-A, they're like really good on customer service. I'm just starting really real industries.
Aren't those
where we just tell
yeah,
y'all
restaurants
really
like that, don't they? Where they just make fun of you,
I
or
would
they're
love
mean
to
to
go
you?
to that restaurant.
Well, I mean, you can go to Apis and we'll make fun of you on the 28th.
Oh, look
or
at
you have
that!
to say something funny.
All right, I got one more question, and I got to ask. So, how do you feel about filters?
Like film on
Because
your
you
phone.
edit photos, right?
I do, yeah.
But damn it, if these people aren't fooling us with these filters, I don't like them.
I mean, so it's yes, I edit my pictures, but I don't enhance my pictures. That's the distinction that I make. You know, people say, "Oh, well, you edit everything." Well, of course I edit. Everybody edits everything.
Right.
You know, there's no photographer who sells pictures like this. I didn't do it. Even like film photographers edit their. You know, you can edit a film by how long you leave it in the chemicals, and you know you can do stuff in the dark room.
Even drug dealers cut their dough.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I try to tell people in the store. But I see no problem with how much anyone wants to edit their pictures, because art, photography, painting, it's all subjective, right? And I always say, like, I'm jealous of people like Baron Batch, because Baron can paint anything. He can visualize a scene and he can paint what he wants. I've got to capture what's in front of me. And so I'm jealous of painters and digital artists like that who can create whatever they want. And I started a little series where I called it Alternate Realities, where like I photoshopped the Milky Way over Pittsburgh, and people were like, "Oh, damn, I didn't know the Milky Way ever showed." Like, no, it didn't. That's why it's a composite image. But I've done some where I've like put the Cathedral of Learning in downtown Pittsburgh. Stuff like that, because I think stuff like that would be cool to see. So I don't see anything wrong with however much anyone wants to edit their pictures, because they're all it's all a matter of preference, right? You know, people might like my images, and they may not like someone else's. They might hate mine but like someone else's, and it's art. That's what it's about. So I've always been under the mindset of I'll never criticize someone else's photography, because that's how they see their work, and that's how they want to edit it, and that's fine to me. I may not like it. I mean, I'm not really into painting. You know, I'm not really into like classical painters, but obviously they were great, and everyone loves them. So that's kind of my take on it.
All right, I don't know about that. All right, I kind of agree, but at least give me Instagram. You can put 2 pictures now. Give the filtered picture, and then put the real shit up after, so I know what I'm really dealing with. You be filtering your shits?
Well, I mean,
You making your beard very crisp?
Oh, no,
It
it depends. I mean, when I take my little like beer photos, I don't do any like filters. I just kind of like put the contrast up so you can get the actual color of the beer. I think that's important, like in the photo or whatever. But if I'm like doing just anything else, I just put that X Pro bitch on that bitch, and that's good. That's my go-to. I mean, X Pro.
You got your
the
go-to.
round the shit is kind of dark.
Don't matter what the
It's
lighting is.
Yeah, it don't matter what the fuck it is. It's just, X Pro, and then I put that bitch up. That's
Your
about
shit's
it.
branded.
You know what I mean?
It could be. I just
know
don't
all
know
that
how
shit
to
in the
use
background,
filters.
you know?
I'm just terrible with photographs at all times.
Yeah, I mean, some of these motherfuckers, I don't want to see your real shit.
I want to see
like
real.
you. Then
That's what I'm gonna see when I try to meet you at the club.
They're not. You don't want to see the real shit sometimes. You know what I mean, I lie to me. You know what I'm saying? Tell me a comfortable lie. You know what I'm saying? Visually, you know?
Lie to me.
You lie to me. You know, truth hurts sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be scrolling through Instagram and get an eye full of hurtful truth from you. So you know what I mean? I'd go ahead and lie to me. Baby.
I'm changing my IG name to Hurtful Truth. I'm no good with filters.
Sounds like a band name. Hurtful Truth.
It probably is. It probably is a fucking band
Somewhere
name.
out of Seattle, there's a hurtful truth.
Why Seattle?
It's grunge, man. It's the grunge.
I thought they was out of Buffalo. Can you filter photographs of Buffalo and make it look like I don't know?
I'll tell you, I got
Rochester?
one picture of a park in Buffalo. I'm gonna send it to you whenever I get home. I'm gonna be my next big. That's gonna be my next big picture. There's a park,
not a parking lot, because that's what the fuck is it's the whole city. It's the Century 3 Park.
See, and here I am defending them, and the shit I said is the tagline.
What was that one store that was the Steve Berry's? What was the one?
Oh, the sports store.
The ones that sold the and ones. What was it called?
I think it was Stephen Berry.
Stephen Berry.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah.
Not and one. Not and one.
It's a city full of Stephen Berries.
Man, they tried so hard to make and one a thing.
Man, yeah, no, they did. Yeah,
That dude that was like,
was that Mulberry?
It was Marlboros, and then he went and got the Starburys and
Starburys. Yeah,
them shoes they made out of I don't know what the fuck Starburys they made out of bubble gum. Them shits don't.
Nah, man, you don't want them. Man.
I used to work at Finish Line in high school. We always had lines out the door for all the new Kobe's, the new Jordans, and we always got first pick those. So I always had. I already had all
motherfucker that had
Iverson's.
The whole whoever everybody knew the motherfucker that worked at Foot Locker. Yeah, yeah. If you worked at Foot Locker in high school, everybody fucking you. That was a ticket. I mean.
I had those the red zip up, not the high tops, the low top Iversons for.
Bro, the Iversons, man. Yeah, I had the
kept
Iversons, the Rodmans, the Grant Hills. I never had Jordans, but I had
the Hills. I never got the Rodmans. I just couldn't. Yeah. Something about him, man. I'm like, you know what? I can't really monetarily support you, but I fucks with you for some reason. For some reason, I like you, but I can't show it to anybody.
I fucks with you.
But I'm right here on you. I'm right. I see it, but because he did that dumbass movie, Double Taker.
Double with John Claude. And that movie was dope as shit, man. You sleeping on, and they had the denim kicks or whatever. Anyway,
all right, money moves. Listen, young men, if you work at Finish Line, here's what you do to increase your sales and your Instagram following. You sell people shoes. You filter for photographs of them in their shoes at Finish Line. That'd be dope. I wonder if that's legal. If the company would be okay with that, but that would be dope. Like
it's your first take. Listen, I get you hook up on the shoes, and I can get you a picture on that bitch. Boom! It's a twofer.
It's a twofer.
Set up a little studio in the back.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and come through, get you sized up. Boop,
do it at Century 3 Mall. Bring them back. So Dave, let the people know where they can find you.
Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, all at Dave Dicello. I'm not on Snap. I am on Snapchat, but I don't do anything on there. But DaveDicello.com. And I would say of all the three, you'll probably get the most real me on Twitter of all three. Facebook, I'm a little bit more vanilla. Instagram, not so, but Twitter, you'll probably get the real me where I get people yelling at me for swearing all the time.
You swear. Fuck these people talking about, man. You use them words. They're real words. You didn't create them, so fuck it. They out here.
Yeah.
They ain't let the people know.
If you're looking for us, you can find us on epiccastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play, and Spotify under Drinking Partners. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook. And from my understanding, are we on Snapchat now? Hey, Lauren.
We snap.
Yeah, at Partners Pod. All that Partners Pod, man. We on Snapchat now, man. Yeah, yo, we on Snapchat. It's crazy. I mean, we got an intern out here. Shout out to Lauren Horner out here.
Don't even show us the video that's being snapped.
I've never seen us on Snapchat. I don't even know what the hell it is.
No idea what.
I don't even know how to get into the Snapchat.
Tell us
we ain't
if
running
we need
that shit.
filters on how we look on Snapchat.
Let us give a little feedback. I don't even know. I don't even know if I follow us on Snapchat. But you should follow us on Snapchat. We on that bitch. We got video and shit and all the snaps. Is that what they call them? We got snaps going on or whatever. At Partners Pod, man.
I got blemishes, man, and I'm all self-conscious in this episode, but we want to thank Dave Dicello for coming through. We hope that you shoot our prospective weddings at some point, but Dave's already contracted budgets, but I'm going to get y'all both together.
Y'all can come.
You can shoot from the helicopter.
That's fine.
Buzzy's the on-the-ground guy.
I'm going to just invite photographers, and then I'm going to just have like some sexy cameras laying around like to tempt them.
Oh, like Hunger Games?
Yeah, just like,
just had a camera.
You may be onto something there.
Like hanging around, and a photographer can't go see a motherfucking Nikon sitting there and not want to like pick it up and start, and get some drunken
memory cards laying around.
Just laying around. I mean, it's there if you want it, like no pressure.
The cameras don't have any memory in them, so now you got to fight, you got to trade, you got to barter for your memory. All right, he might have a memory card, you got the camera. How y'all gonna work together? We're gonna turn this to a whole social experiment, and we gonna have Dave hovering above the wedding in his helicopter. He's just gonna take pictures of my waves.
with a low flying FAA approved drone.
The military drone.
Can't go above the
400 feet, the 400 feet limit.
Man, that shit crazy. But we want to thank you for coming out, man. As always, Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family. And we out. FA. Damn, that's crazy. I should have dove more in there. What the fuck?